On this video, we're gonna see how we add grids to our project. But before doing that, let's get rid of all those elevations that come with ArchiCad 20 template. So holding Shift, I'm gonna select all of them, press the delete key. ArchiCad is gonna ask you for, are you sure? Yes, delete anyway. We're gonna add those elevations later. We don't need them now. And we have a clean canvas to start our project. And to access the grid tool, we go here on the toolbox and click on More. And the grid tool is the first icon here. So I'm going to click on it. And to add the grid, we click on the first and the second point of the grid. And here we go. We have the grid A there. So now let's select this grid and change the settings of it. So I'm going to click on it and then go here on this dialog settings icon, or use the shortcut Ctrl+T or Command+T on the Mac. And here we have all the settings for the grid element. Starting with the floor plan, where we can choose how we want the grid line to look like, which is this green line on the middle. So we can have the grid line, an entire line between those two markers, or we can have it segmented by 1 meter. So we have a 1 meter segment here at the end next to each marker. Or we can have only the marker heads, so no segment at all. I'm gonna stick to this second option here. And you can also choose the line type of the grid. So I'm going to change here from solid line to dot and dashed. You can also choose where you want to show this grid. Right now we have it on all stories, or you can choose only some specific stories. And you can also choose to show only one or both markers. I know some practices prefer to have the grid marker only in one side, so you can switch it off here. I'm going to leave both on for now. You can also choose how you want this grid to look on sectional elevation, so same things as floor plan. And you can choose the naming rule. So right now we have a naming that starts with A. Let's keep it like this for now. We don't need to change it. And let's go to the next one, the marker, where we can change the size of it. But for now, this is a pretty good size. So let's press OK, and you will notice that our grid has changed a little bit. The way I add the grids is by adding the first one, and then I select it, and I use Command-D for drag, or Ctrl-D on the Windows, and I start moving this first one. On the middle of the process, I press the Option key on the Mac or the Ctrl key on the Windows, and I type the distance that I want. So in this case, I know it's going to be a 4 meters 35, press Enter, so I have my next grid. I just want one of them, so I'm going to click in one, Ctrl-D, start the dragging process, press the Option key on the Mac or Ctrl in the Windows, and type the distance for the next grid. When you have grids that are stacking on each other like this, all you have to do is select the grid, click in one of those magenta points here, make sure you choose from the path palette the last option, which is the Move node, and I'm going to move the node a little bit to the side here. After I have added all the grids that I think I'm going to need, I go back and start naming them. So this is A, next one is going to be B, next one is going to be C. So I don't need to use the Ctrl-T or Command-T to go to the settings. I can use the shortcut here on the top and just change it quickly and so on. And that's pretty much how you need to know about the grids right now. So go ahead and add all the vertical and horizontal grids, rename them so we can start adding some walls.